Indigo made the beat.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Here's Peak podcast. I am your host, Chris, and we're here to talk about entertainment, culture, and whatever the hell we feel like. And I've got a full array of dudes here today. We're going to start with the anti Santa Claus here, taking away children's dreams. It's James. How you doing, James?
Hey, shout out to the Lakers and the Nets.
That's right. The Nets you caused to lose yesterday, day before.
He
Sunday.
just assured that they're going to be out of the playoffs.
That's right. Blame him, everybody. All right. Speaking of the playoffs, the man really invested over here. It's Keith. How you doing, Keith? How are your Knicks doing?
Hey,
Oh wait, no, that's the Celtics that
hey,
are winning.
hey. I mean, come on. Why you got to take the cheap shots? Don't take the cheap shots. I feel like you're better than that, Chris.
No, I'm not better than that. Plus, I moved my Bears hat out of the window for probably next season
For obvious reasons.
for obvious reasons. We're not making those winning moves right now.
Jesus.
And the man from Snowland, it's Mike. How you doing? How's the weather up there at the North Pole?
Cold as usual, but I'm happy to announce I am starting a band named Duvet. It's going to be a cover band. Oh man, come on, guys! Come on, guys!
Where's Brooks? This is where we need Brooks to call you.
That's like a grandma blanket joke. Come on,
dude.
You guys not know what a duvet is? Come on, work with me here.
Yes. We know what
All right.
Comforter. You could have gone with comforter.
We just don't use it in a normal lexicon at all.
Ever.
Throw. There's a throw blanket or whatever. All right. So, two topics today. First, we're going to talk about the results for DC Entertainment from the WB, the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. They made some announcement about restructuring, blah blah blah. So we'll have a little conversation about that, and then we're going to talk about the successful people, and that's Marvel and Moon Knight. We're going to talk about that.
The successful ones.
The successful ones, as this year. And at the end, I'm going to ask you guys the question I posted on Twitter that only one of you answered, which was, what is the best year of the MCU to date? Who had the best year? All right. So let's start with this DC news. As you guys know, Warner Brothers Discovery bought Warner Brothers for $43 billion. Good pickup, I guess. I don't know, maybe. So their new CEO, David Zaslav.
Jesus.
Zaslav?
Yeah.
All right, whatever. He basically was mentioning that they're going to try to strike a new deal, a new organization around the DC brands and stuff like that. We got some great call outs. A solidified content vertical, whatever the hell that is. Effort
buzzwords.
That's right.
Yeah.
Effort to have disparate elements more closely aligned. Maximize the value of the superhero stable. So Silver Stable. Oh wait, no, that's Marvel. You can't even do that.
Super stable, yeah.
Less interested. Oh, so they're talking about having a Kevin Feige like character, like architect. Except they're looking for someone who's more business oriented, because that's how successful artistic ventures happen, is when you get a bean counter in charge.
Yeah.
So, guys, with $3 billion worth of synergies being placed towards a unified DC universe, what do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years with DC?
Chris, allow me to go first. And Mike, I would like you to, if you could find time in this edit, screen from the first podcast we had, every bite I had about this entire DC franchise and how I felt this was not gonna work. Every moment, probably like 20 of these instances. This will be the 21st. Again, the Warner Brothers has fallen into the trap of trying to replicate Marvel's formula. Marvel's formula works for Marvel is because the architect and the comic book and the movies and the TV shows are all aligned in a singular vision. Is to make it family friendly. Family friendly.
Except for
Unfortunately,
our Eternals, which is all sex and
yeah,
violence.
Eternals and Netflix, but Netflix is back in the fold. DC, on the other hand, they don't have a vision. Right now, we got rated R Joker, which is one of the best selling. We've got we've got universes that are not even connected. The Batman's not connected to anything else. We've got James Gunn verse where he's got just the Suicide Squad and Harley Quinn and that little universe. Then you have like what's supposed to be their multiverse with Ezra. Oh my god! By the way, Ezra Miller arrested again. Ezra Miller arrested again. But
Man.
there's no continuity because there's no vision and there's no synergy. The CW TV show is probably their best content right now, and that's
Oh.
sad.
Ouch.
I mean,
It's not
hey,
Insulting.
sad.
You
It's
like the
not
yeah,
Batman.
sad.
We all like the Batman. You can't call the Flash the best thing they have right now when they have a.
yeah, but they had DC Legends, they had Superman, Lois. They had a couple
They
good
got good.
hitters.
They got good quality TV superhero products,
Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah.
The
and I feel like
animated film universe is probably better than Marvel's animated
It
film
always has
universe.
been.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been saying that
absolutely.
for years too. The DC animated,
Yeah,
they're on it.
but the crutch is them trying to do something that they shouldn't do. I don't know why we're still talking about these universes anymore with after the whole Zack Snyder debacle. So this guy, David Zassa's coming in from Discovery, which up until last year, I didn't know his Discovery was that rich. Like I did not know
I
what
did not.
company he
I
yeah,
thought they
owned.
were.
that bought. You said 43 billion Discovery.
Yeah,
They
Discovery.
must make a lot of
Who owns
money.
Discovery?
Uh,
Videoing those ice caps and telling everybody
and
about it,
Earth
right?
Earth Two and all this
Yo,
stuff.
Dirty Jobs brings
So
in a lot of ad revenue.
It's
take
big business and global warming.
Yeah,
and Chris, and this is where Mike's gonna have to splice this one as a 21st cut of me is when you say business minded, to me we're right back to where we started way back when they announced Man of Steel was gonna be part of a bigger universe. Is they don't get it. You don't need business guys to give you this creative artistic content. You just needed to make sure that the money's there. What you need is artistic minded folks who came up reading the comics, who came up watching Superman and Friends, who came up playing the video games. You need those guys to get in a room together and collaborate on a single minded purpose of what they're going to do with the DC content. And then present it to the money dudes and say, we need budget for this. This is our slate for the next 2 years. We want to cast this actor, this actress, boom, boom, boom.
See, I'm going to disagree that it's just that. That's not the problem because Mr. Zack Snyder, not always our favorite director, but he has his vision. He's great at casting.
I said a group, by the way. I don't know if you heard me. I said get a
A
group of
group.
these guys in a room
Oh,
to collaborate.
groups aren't even better. I mean, Monster Universe, Star Wars Universe, like all of this stuff. Marvel is a thing on its own. It is a monster that grew from a little tiny seed that no one expected and became Dormammu or whatever, right? It's this thing you're not going to compete. What DC has to realize is it's not just about building a universe. It's about making people a few things that they care about and then going, okay, we've planted the seed. This is working. Now build. You can't build, no cart before the horse, right? The problem is that they decided they were going to do Man of Steel, Justice League, bam, we're going to be where Marvel is. No, that's not how it works. And number two, I'm sorry, Mr. Zack Snyder's vision is not what a a general public vision of Superman. He wanted the super. I got to see Superman kill someone in the first movie kind of level of
Yeah,
I
but
want a
Chris,
different
I
Superman.
don't think you're arguing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you get a collective minded of people who grew up in the comics, creators of the like Marvel has in
But
their
they
stable.
have Walter
Hold
Hamada.
on, hold on. Marvel has in their stable. They have folks who drew the comics. They have folks
That's 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 him.
who are
Not
running the
not
comic book.
Hamada. The Green Lantern guy,
Ramita. They had
John
guys who were
Romita.
actually, yeah, they had guys who were involved in the steady output of creative content in the rooms making decisions about these characters. DC has guys from Northwestern, Harvard, Princeton, those, and then a few guys who have enough power and say in the comic book world and the animated world to say, okay, we kind of agree, don't agree. And then Zack Snyder was its own beast. He didn't represent all DC. It just so happened that they thought that they were gonna hitch their cart to this guy because he was bringing in money,
But what
not
you
he was
guys are
bringing any
forgetting
sort of
But
too,
was
creativity.
he?
well, what you guys are forgetting too is that Chris Nolan was at the helm, not Zack Snyder. Chris Nolan
Chris
was the
Nolan wanted
executive.
nothing to do with
Yes.
helming a
Are you kidding?
universe.
But
He was the
Man of
executive
Steel?
producer in name
No,
only,
you're
and name
right. But
only.
he was
He
the
hates
executive
comic books. He
producer.
wants nothing to do with comic books and superheroes.
Yeah, but Warner Brothers said,
He-
"Here, this is yours now." So if you're gonna blame
and they
somebody, you
and they
can't
got
just.
2 good
What I'm
movies
saying
out of
is, you
it and
can't just
3
blame.
successful
You can't
movies.
blame Zack Snyder. Yeah, Zack had his vision, but it got approved by Chris Nolan, who pays the bill.
Because look, again, you got to look at the vision. The problem is they have guys who are like, their quotes are like, I can't believe you don't believe superheroes don't kill, or if you don't believe Batman doesn't kill, then you're something or something. It what you're looking for to have mass appeal, because that's what they want. They don't want a bunch of 600 700 million dollar movies. They want mass appeal Marvel money. To
Mm-hmm.
get mass appeal Marvel money, you have to have a specific type of universe that draws in mass appeal Marvel money. And to do that, you have to build characters that people like, that people will connect to. The amount of people who are connecting to the current slate of, to the Snyderverse Superman was this much. Batman's a specific character. He's different than everybody else. They need a Captain America version of Superman. They
Well, but
need
hold
a
on,
Captain America version of Wonder Woman. They need
Chris. No,
somebody that helms the universe
you're
that is open to 8-year-olds all the way up to 80-year-olds. They
you are
need
so wrong in this. You are
absolutely
again.
not. They
You're
need a
mirroring
character.
Marvel. Why is the animated version so much more popular than the Marvel's whatever Marvel
Because
has right
Marvel
now on
doesn't
Disney
actually
Plus?
put any time or effort into their animated stuff.
Yeah, they do. They're pushing out video games. They're pushing out toys.
Now,
They're pushing out
before they
content for the
weren't,
universe. But
and
what
it's
DC,
very minor.
it has to do with the artistic and creativity behind one particular branch of DC versus the larger branch of DC. There's people that actually put together a good story, good animation that involves character. You can't tell me Superman can't be as popular as Captain America. If you
No,
write
I'm
him the way you
telling you,
write him in
he
the
has to
comics,
be. He
he
has to be
can
in
be.
order to make a successful universe. You
Exactly.
have to make the Man of Steel that people will connect to and to carry your universe. You
The
can't go
animated version
you can't go in
Flash,
with a Batman
kids
version
love
of
the animated
Superman
version of
and expect
Flash.
him to carry your universe. I'm telling you that that's your crux. If you can't build Superman, you're not going to build a universe in the DC universe.
I'm saying bigger picture than just building Superman. You need to
You
have a
have to
vision. Like, what
start
are you
there.
trying to do?
He is the linchpin
No,
of
no, it's
creating
not.
a successful DC universe.
No,
You cannot start without creating a successful popular
I
Superman.
disagree with that. I disagree.
I don't think
Superman does not have to be your anchor of creating a
He
brand new
should
DC film
be,
universe.
because Batman can't be. I love Batman. I love all the Batman movies. He is not the anchor to your universe. He is not the one that the 3-year-olds to 80-year-olds will. I think you have to start with Superman and go from there. And they had the wrong people at the helm to build that universe from there. I'm telling you, he has to be hopeful. He has to be a certain type of Superman.
Tell me why Teen Titans is the most popular animated show right now for kids and toys. Why is Teen Titans the most popular? Is Superman in there?
Wait,
Is
wait, wait,
Batman
wait.
in there?
how popular? Like Marvel popular? Like $2 billion popular?
No. I'm just talking
We're
about
very
in
specific
the
about what we're
animated
trying to create
toys
here.
and content. If you imagine if you can get that version out in
It's
live
not.
action,
See, y'all being disingenuous because like DC was never as well, not never. It was actually first, but like as Marvel was always more popular than DC.
No.
Let's keep.
DC was originally way more popular.
That's what I'm saying. It
1979,
was first. It was
Superman 1
first.
comes out and
It
blows
was
all the
first,
box office away. People wanted a Superman. And then Batman
bro.
comes out and then he
But what
blows
did
the box office
Marvel? What
away.
did Marvel
Marvel
do?
couldn't do shit until
Marvel came out
in the
way
last
after
decade.
DC.
well, first of all, Marvel
To the
didn't own the
last
rights to
decade.
most of
Are
their
you
stuff.
bugging out? Like,
Hold on, Marvel
when
didn't
I
own
was
the
a
rights
kid,
to a lot of their characters, so that's a whole different conversation. Let's go back to the point I'm trying to make is you can get a version of Teen Titans and make it live action, and you have the 8-year-olds and the 80-year-olds if you have the right characters
But
and the
it's
right
not going to
story.
anchor a universe. You're not anchoring
Story.
a universe like that. If you want to
but
build and
why
anchor
are
a
you trying to
universe,
create
It
a
doesn't
universe in
exactly.
the way of Marvel? Is there no other way to present it?
Thank you,
This is
Keith.
my
we're
this is
well,
my
but
thing.
wait.
This is
We're
my thing even
currently
from
in the
the
DC
last time.
non-universe connected bit right now, and you guys were
Then
James was
they don't
specifically
have to create
bitching,
a
and
connected
DC is
universe.
specifically saying this is what we want.
They don't have to create they don't have to create a connected universe.
Then
Like,
they're already there. They're already there. They already have a bunch of
and
desperate.
I don't mind
Uh,
that. I think what DC's problem is they are GoBot to Marvel's Transformer.
Oof.
That's it.
but
That's
it
it.
doesn't have to be. They have the
They
characters.
have a very good TV product. DC is made for TV.
No,
It
I
doesn't have
think
to
it's
be
the
No, I don't
opposite
agree
I
with
think
that
though.
either.
DC is made for TV.
I don't
DC
agree with
is
And
that at all.
I think
No.
Marvel just
gods
has,
and monsters, man. They're gods and monsters. They can
but they
hold a
can't
big.
present it well. They can't
Well,
present
that's the
it
It goes
well.
problem.
back to
That's
they
what
don't
I'm
have a
trying to
vision of
tell
these
you.
characters.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the comics or the characters. That's
It has to do with the
that's
architect and lack
economic.
of
It does
vision.
have something to do with the
That's
character.
economic and political. That's business moves. That's not anything with the property.
Creatively, like put out, like just make good products.
Again, there's good
You
products
don't
which we
need to
have.
have a connected universe for the whole thing to be. Everything doesn't have to be like, oh, like in the same vein as how we devour Marvel content. It doesn't like give me a good. You already did it. Give me a the water guy.
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Water
Give
King.
me a good Aquaman
That's
movie.
impact
A
But
cloud
they
good one.
did.
H2O.
They did. They made a good Aquaman movie. It made $1 billion.
Cool. Now give me a couple more along that line.
But as
Introduce a
soon as
couple
you
more
do that,
characters.
they start to combine. That's what I'm telling you. No matter
But that's a
what you do,
line,
this
though.
is
That's a line.
this
That
is a
becomes a
universe
line.
in which
You
at
could then
some
do the
point
same thing. You could then do the same thing with what it's just a line. You don't need to start with any one. You just need to start with a good product.
I'm telling you though, that's
They don't need to
Aquaman
start with
is not going
Superman
to anchor your universe.
as a society. They don't need it
You don't need an
anchored.
anchor.
They
You
don't
don't
You
need
need
it
an
do.
anchored.
anchor.
They just
No, you
need good
don't.
content.
MCU was successful because they anchored on Robert Downey Jr. and Chris
Yes.
Hems and Chris
And that was
And
their method.
that was
That was
exactly.
their
and it
method, and that's how they
It's
did it.
like
that's
it's
how it
like
works though, people.
no.
That's how
It's
it
like
works.
Just
it's
because
like hold
one,
on. It's
what do you
like the
mean? That's how
Bulls.
it
The
works.
Bulls of the
That's
'90s were
that's
winning.
one test
They
case.
had the triangle offense. It worked for the '90s basketball. It doesn't work in 2020 triangle offense. Now you need spacers and shooters. The big man is gone. You can't
We're
call.
on to you.
You're like the old basketball fan over there. Like, you gotta follow
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr.
this is the only way to do it. Like,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
this
But
is
it's
what the
only
textbook
worked
says.
once.
Pick and roll. Pick
It's
and
only
roll.
worked once. You can't reinventing the wheel doesn't work because there's
Yeah,
only
but
one way to make a
Reinventing the
wheel.
wheel. That's their wheel. They invented.
You can't
their
remake the wheel
wheel.
though. What
The
are you
way we
remaking the
consume
wheel?
content-
Their wheel. They're one
To an
of
octagon? That doesn't work.
Chris, the way we consume content now is different. Like, there's different platforms to watch these things. We don't have to go to the cinema anymore and watch the big.
But that's
Avengers
not what they're
5.
trying to do. They're not trying. You've already got that. You've already got a popular Harley Quinn show, a popular kids movie, a popular what's his name, Peacemaker, a sort of popular DC
Good. Give me more
TV shows.
characters.
Yeah,
Give me
and
more
I'm
stories like
perfectly.
that.
But you're
I'm
never
perfectly
breaking
fine
that
with
barrier. If that's all you want,
What
if you want
barrier?
semi-popular, you're never breaking the barrier. That's
What
the point.
barrier? Give me content. Give me content. Like that. Like
I'm telling
it
you,
does
Yeah,
not
but
have
it's
to
not.
be. It
But
does
you
not
can't
have
say
to
that
the
be
either,
the
Beats.
fans.
same
You can't
thing.
just say give me content because the content they've been giving us
No,
is
when I
shit
say that, I mean like
on the
it's
big
like the
screen.
way you guys are talking. Like there's
Yes,
only
Mike.
one formula. Like there's only one. Like Marvel came and they did it this way. It was successful for them. That's the only way to do it. I don't think that that's the case.
It depends on
That's
the results
one
you want.
use case story. Like
You can go back to the 80s, 90s, 2000s and say, we're going to make 1, 2, and 3 of these. So everybody gets a trilogy. We're going to go back to the Nolan, which worked fine. We're going to go back to Nolan. We're going to make 3 of everybody. They're going to be completely separate from everybody. And we're going to have
Spider-Man.
a popular movie series with a really crappy third act. We're gonna have a popular movie series, and some are gonna make $1 billion, some are
Superman
make
3.
$800,000, but you're never gonna reach what their goal is. Everybody knows what the goal is. The goal is Star Wars. The goal is
That,
MCU.
that's the studio's goal.
that's
My
the
goal is
studio's
to
goal. Yeah, like
You're telling me
no, but
that the
hang on,
DC
please.
fans do
Hang
not
on,
want
please.
what Marvel has.
Okay, hang on. You know the
Come on,
executives
tell
in the
me DC
studios.
fans don't want what Marvel
You
has.
know the studio's goal is to make money. I would just like
Yes,
to,
of course it is.
I would just like to see a nice connected cinematic universe. You know, I don't care. I don't care
That's
about.
what
I
I'm
say
saying.
that.
I don't care
That's a
about
totally
anchors.
different argument.
What?
And in order to make it, you have to have
No,
anchors.
I
I'm
don't care
telling
about
you.
anchors.
You can't build a building on
You
swampland.
okay?
You need
The
anchors.
thing is, too, you're discounting. You're forgetting the fact that they never thought that RDJ was going to be an anchor for this universe.
But he was.
He was,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
Because
He became the
he
anchor.
became the anchor.
He
But you
became
already
the
know
anchor.
who the anchor of the DC universe is. That's
And by the
problem.
way,
You can't
Robert Downey
change it.
Jr. wasn't the main anchor. Also,
No,
once Chris Evans came in Captain
they
America,
weren't
what I'm
really
saying, the
counting
two
on
of
this
them.
movie to be as popular as it
Yeah,
was.
it was 3,
Yeah.
and Chris Hemsworth, who's still Thor 4 just released. So
Yeah, but he was
Dude,
popular,
put
but
out
never as popular as
quality.
the other two.
Put out
you
quality
give me a good Chris.
content.
If they could put a great Superman movie that's circa the Superman 2,
What are people going to ask
that's
for?
still not in. People's not gonna ask for it now. Want to see?
They're going to
Justice
ask.
League.
No. After
they're
they make a
not.
successful one, what are they going to ask for? A second
Another
one.
Superman movie.
And then what are they
Yes.
going to ask for? A Superman Batman movie. And then
No,
what
they
are they
won't.
ask for?
No,
A Wonder Woman
That's
movie.
incorrect.
Absolutely
no one's gonna ask
not.
that. No,
God.
they will not.
You guys
ask
are
that.
crazy.
Nobody asked for that movie.
Yeah, nobody wanted that movie.
Nobody asked for that.
movie.
Everybody
shocked.
wanted
People thought
the
they were gonna get
Justice
Superman
League
2.
movie, even if
Yeah,
it was
a
bad.
Justice League movie,
Everybody's
yes,
been
but you're
asking
talking
for it
about
for decades.
you're talking about Superman and Batman.
No.
Superman and
You
Batman
must
is not
have-
Justice League,
yeah,
right?
you
Well,
must have the
Superman
DC
Batman is
fandom
just
really
a Justice
confused.
League. It's just a prequel Justice League movie.
Yeah,
That's all
but
it
we don't
is.
need to have another Superman Batman before we have another
They
Justice
don't.
League.
They don't want
But
a
what-
Superman, Green Lantern, Superman,
Dude, Superman,
Supergirl.
Batman have great animated movies. They have great comics together. They're a great duo if they work right. They're just like Captain America and Iron Man anchored a universe. You put those two together, you're anchoring a real
But you
universe.
know what happened though?
And
each of those characters
they
had
were
their
bad
own
movies is
popular
what
movie
happened.
first.
Right.
No, each of
Right.
those characters had their own good movies. So
Exactly. Now keep
one
going.
good Superman movie.
And
I
a
want
good
Superman
Batman
2.
movie.
No,
And a
I
good
want
Batman.
Superman 2. I don't want another Batman
Yeah,
yet.
but
I want to see what's
But
going to happen with
then
this
But that's
character.
what I'm
also
saying.
you're also
I'm
acting
literally
like
saying that thing.
Thor and Captain America didn't have a Thor and Captain America movie. They had an Avengers movie. So why would I build
Right.
another Superman and Batman movie alone, standalone?
Until I get all these
Right.
different
I'm
characters.
not. I'm just saying. What are people going to ask for once you
Dude,
build
who
that?
cares?
They will come.
They're not going to ask for another
quality
BVS. I
content.
guarantee you.
I
They're not going to
I'm
ask
just
for another
saying in
BVS.
general,
Nobody's
that's what
gonna
people
ask
want.
for their 15th interpretation of Batman. Nobody's asking for that.
And that's the
Everybody
problem.
is.
No, the problem is this is what happened to DC versus Marvel. Marvel dictated what they're gonna release for Phase 1 and Phase 2. Phase 3, they listen to the fans. DC, they're listening to all types of fans. Oh, you want Batgirl? It's an sorry, we can't do it anymore. Wait, you want Shazam? All right, Shazam. Oh, delayed a year. They're listening to all these different people
And
telling them what to
that's
do.
why we have.
That's the
And
problem.
that's why we have.
And that's
why
what you guys are telling me that's a good idea. You guys are telling me this is a great idea that they have a Shazam and a Black Adam and a
I didn't say that.
Batgirl.
I did not say that was a good idea.
That's what you guys are telling me.
I said that's the
you
problem
need
right now.
the anchors and build the universe, and then you can spread. They are in a spot right now where they are just throwing shit against the wall.
We're gonna agree to disagree
because they failed. They failed at way too, and they realized it way too
But
late.
there's
No, they
there's
failed
nothing
because they're trying to
wrong.
be Marvel.
But there's nothing wrong with having these movies.
No, Zack Snyder specifically said he was trying to be the anti-Marvel because Marvel did it right, so we shouldn't try that. And then he just tanked their universe.
Yeah, but
in doing it.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with having a bunch of different origin movies. The problem is people are getting disappointed because in the end, none of these are going to be connected again.
And the story sucks.
That's what I'm saying.
And the story sucks.
And they're just not good movies.
Exactly.
They're not good movies, right?
Okay.
I'm telling you, put better content out. Like, you put better content out.
Before you anchor anything, give me something worthwhile.
That's the anchor. That's what I'm telling you guys. You can't build all this other stuff.
No, you don't have to start with a Superman movie.
It's not going to be
You can
Superman.
give me a great Supergirl movie. You can give me a great Supergirl movie.
It's not
and
gonna
I'm interested to the next output.
Chris, you know why it's not going to be Superman right now? Because Superman is tainted right now in DC, in the DC cinematic universe.
It's got the cooties.
Yeah, DC Batman.
And that's why I'm telling you, you're not gonna take off. They're not gonna be able to do it.
So they have to go. They have to do something else. I don't know why.
Who are you gonna?
I don't have the
Are you gonna anchor it on Black Adam?
No, of course not.
Are you anchoring this universe on Black Adam?
Marvel anchored their universe, as you said, on Iron Man.
Right.
Iron Man, who was not that popular.
I bet you money the quality and success of that movie, and who Dwayne the Rock is, I definitely think that it could be anchored on that. On
yes. Again, Iron Man.
I haven't seen
Chris.
the movie, but this
Iron Man.
I am a.
By the way,
they anchored on Iron Man because that's all they had. They could have.
But that's
tried
the
to
point.
Anchor on.
But the point is, that's all they had, a C-level
Except
character.
DC has all the A-level characters. They don't.
They don't have to use A-level characters.
Nobody cares. People don't care about Wonder Woman. They care about what's her name.
Gal Gadot.
People don't care. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
They don't care about Wonder Woman. Like, nobody cares about DC characters besides Batman and Superman. That's the problem.
And that's who I'm telling you you have your Trinity.
No, this is why your
universe.
quality. This is why quality content
has to be important.
Quality content makes a difference.
Quality
content. You make the content more quality. You make more quality movies. Now I can become I can become interested in a character.
Then you're gonna get a sequel, and then they're gonna get together. And you're building
not
the
gonna
MCU
get together.
anyway.
Keep putting them together.
They're absolutely getting together. You guys are wild.
And
if
then
you don't think
then that's how DC does it.
That's where this is going.
Then that's how DC does it. But as long as it's quality content along the way,
yeah, you guys are going back to my argument each time.
No,
but you're missing. Your argument has a big flaw in it. It's the quality. It doesn't matter how you structure the universe with anchorage, and if the quality's not there, you're right back to where you started. And I feel like,
did I say making a bad movie works?
No. But the point
then you
is,
end up with the Mummy.
But it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter how great of a organizational discovery comes in with Warner Brothers. We've got executives, we've got bean counters. But if you don't have the right people with the right vision, with the good story, fuck all that mess. You're right back to where you started.
But that's not my argument. My argument has nothing to do with saying bean counters and organization is the only way you're going to be successful. Of course, you need good content. That's a gimme. Like if you
But-
don't
but
have
you
that, it
start
doesn't
there.
freaking matter.
You start there.
That's
You're
where-
saying
that's
start
where
with
Except
you
that's an
start.
accident. You
That's
can't
where you start.
assume. Man of Steel was a pretty solid movie. I give it a
I
lot of
still enjoy
credit.
it.
It's a
I still
really,
enjoy that movie. I
it's a
still
good,
enjoy
I
that
like
movie.
bad
Man of
ending,
Steel.
but good movie.
And at the time, I wasn't even looking for a universe of the. I just liked Superman.
But then
that
they
version.
got ahead of themselves. They ran down the stairs and they fell flat on their face.
So instead of making a Man of Steel
they
2,
made it a Batman movie.
they made a Batman movie that nobody asked for.
But they didn't make a Batman
and was
movie. That's the
terrible.
problem.
I mean, yeah.
They ran ahead of themselves. They tried to make, they had a 30-year-old, plus they had a fucking 30-year-old Superman and now a 50-year-old Batman. They're like going to anchor their universe on this shit.
Right.
People want
but that's just bad quality, right?
writing.
You can agree.
Right. It's bad quality.
Dude,
But
the Joker rated R movie made $1 billion and it's not tied into
But
anything out of DC.
I'm not saying
That's
you
a
can't
success.
make I'm
That's success.
not saying you can't make a single successful product. You can make a Nolan set universe, but it maxes out. You are not getting to the other heights.
They
point-
don't need a universe.
No, but they want.
They do need a universe. That's what they want.
That's what they want. The studio wants that. They want to be Marvel.
I think that their quote unquote universe can look totally different. It
But
could be-
there's only
it
one
could
way to
be
have a universe, and that's
presented as,
interconnected
like-
movies. That's how
it
it
could be-
works.
So that's the problem. We go back to the beginning of this entire conversation. This is why it's gonna fail again because they feel like they need a universe because they want a universe for money.
But you don't need to
And it's not
reorganize
gonna
if you
work.
don't want a universe. Then don't reorganize. Keep it as it is. Make all
Yes.
the stuff that you.
No, because they're not making, dude. Like, because the movies aren't good. That's different.
That's a
Like,
different argument. That's a
bigger
completely different
argument.
That's
That's
my
a bigger
argument.
argument.
That's
No.
my
Look,
kind of
I can
argument.
tell you,
We're
a
not
lot of people
arguing
are gonna
over
be
whether the
disappointed.
quality works.
A lot of people are going to be disappointed if Henry Cavill doesn't come back as Superman. For
Dude,
one,
Discovery's coming in with the wrong mindset, creating a Kevin like Feige universe. No, get better writers and actors for your freaking movies.
I would say their actors have been fantastic, and they're.
Ooh, Ezra Miller, Ray Fisher,
Okay.
Who's
All
been
right,
fantastic?
hold on a second.
The Green Martian, who showed up in a cameo.
Writing, acting, and directing can all be improved from the DC on the
Start there, Chris. Let's start there.
I never
'cause the
said
public-
not have good content, guys. Jeez, weird.
Because the
I'm talking
public-
about the
The
structure.
public will let them know what character is going to be their cornerstone.
And they have to
Yeah.
be prepared for the other stuff. The problem
Right.
is it is not the point that they should be continue making bad stuff. But if you can't fix your structure, you're just going to end up with one Batman movie and you're maybe a sequel and then a Batgirl movie which are completely whatever, and you're going to be fine with that. You're going to have some good content. But that's not what Discovery is looking for. That is not what the structure is looking for, and that's not going to get you to the successful heights that people want.
Look,
Don't.
I give you 3 really good Batman movies where I introduced Catwoman, but they're all really really good movies, such that I want to see a Catwoman movie. Cool. Then like now Catwoman becomes a character and she gets 3 movies and another character or 2 is introduced. But
And now you're doing the Marvel thing again. You
but
keep
they're
saying you
all
don't want to
really
do the
good.
Marvel thing, but you keep
No, you're
describing
not.
the
That's
Marvel
not
universe.
Marvel. No,
That's not
Not
Marvel.
Marvel.
That's
It's
not Marvel. What are
Marvel.
you talking about? That's
Mar-
not Marvel.
Captain America came out totally independent of Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Independent.
Chris Hemsworth Thor came
Unconnected.
out totally independent. The only connection was the Nick Fury at the cameo for
Which
one
tells
movie.
me
I'm just trying
They
to show
were not
you.
completely.
I'm just trying to show you that a universe can be created in a different way through quality content, and it can come through a whole different way.
It can come through an anchor character that draws people in. I'm telling you, that's how it works.
Okay, it could be this Dwayne the Rock Johnson joint.
it could be Shazam for all we know. Who knows?
You could. I don't think it's going to be
It could be
Shazam.
Batgirl. It could be Batgirl for all we
But
know.
I'm telling you right now, it's not. I'm telling you, Zack Snyder has tainted that Batman and Superman for any kind of universe movie. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a while.
I don't know. We'll have to see when the Flash movie comes out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
you got to remember too. For the Flash, they're talking about Supergirl's in it, right? All the Batmans are in it, and who knows who's going to survive, and then
It's
what's
a
happening
mess
there,
by the sound of it.
and then
I think Marvel has has a wider range of more widely popular superheroes in terms of numbers and recognizable than DC. And I think DC has done so many Batman movies, Superman movies that like really these they have an opportunity to present the public totally different superheroes that they have never really like they haven't seen. And I think like that they can create a different universe in a whole different way and not have to have not have to fall back on Batman and Superman, one of them too, as having to be an anchor to anything, and it can be somebody totally different because like people are really unfamiliar with most of the DC catalog.
It's gonna take a
Don't tell
lot.
me Anchor.
Like
Don't
I
tell
know
me it's gonna take
nothing.
an Anchor.
Like I know nothing
You guys keep
similar.
all right, hey, I think we should go to break because we're out of time on this topic.
Like, do you
right?
know
So-
anything similar in
Shit.
terms
Yeah,
of real
probably.
quick?
It's just,
Do you know anything similar in terms of like the Phoenix Saga and and uh
I
Infinity
mean,
War
there's a million of
and
them.
this,
That's
that,
the
and the other?
problem.
No, there isn't. Not
Crisis
in
on
DC.
Infinite Earths and
That's
stuff like
probably the
that.
biggest. Crisis is the biggest one. Infinite Crisis is the
yeah,
biggest
but
one.
Dark
Bro,
Side,
it's like
Blackest
That's it.
Night.
the Dark
Blackest
Side,
Night.
their world
Number
is
two. Okay, that's two.
DC's world is individual. Like it's not Marvel.
Batman has
Like
tons though, but that's
you're
Batman.
trying to create that same universe, but there's not the same synergy even
Actually, I mean, the
in
DC
the
Justice
product.
League animation went on successfully for years.
They did because they had great stories.
Right. They.
I'm telling
All
you,
right. All right. All right. Right. Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
content wins. But go ahead.
Quality content wins, but you're not going to just that. You have to build up. All right. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about the already successful MCU Moon Knight. Be right back. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to a little less contentious topic as we talk about Disney Plus series Moon Knight. I would like to apologize to my wife for I'm sure I woke her up as I was yelling at you guys.
Oh, we're sorry.
Sorry.
Hey, she'll be listening next week and she'll hear apology. All right. So Moon Knight is literally just a 6-episode series based off the Marvel Comics character Moon Knight, who is a what's the term? Multiple personality character who
dissociative
Dissociative identity disorder.
dissociative
DID.
identity disorder character who connects with an Egyptian god who gives him superpowers. Um, like I said, 6 episodes. It's starring Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke, May Calamay, I believe her name is, and a host of pretty good actors here. Pretty good storyline.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
You've heard of this. You've seen this, right? You know what that is.
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
Is this not why you are here?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Knock that shit off.
So it starts out. We're 3 episodes in at this point, so we're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes. We'll get back to you when the series ends. But so far, we've met 2 personalities. Stephen Grant, who is a English, not very well socialized. He works at a museum, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And his
but he's not a curator. He's more like a.
No, he's just like a guy who works at the
He
museum,
works in the gift
like
shop.
stock shelves. Yeah,
Yes,
gift shop.
there you go.
And Mark and his alternative personality, Mark Spector, who was like an American super spy. And so we the first episode's probably, I would like to talk about that because it's a real interesting episode and it really kind of locked in, especially anybody who first got into this without knowing anything about Moon Knight. Where you get this guy Steven, and he wakes up and he's chained himself to his bed, and he talks about how he sleepwalks and he loses time, and then he goes to work and he finds out that he's got a date he didn't know he was supposed to have, right? And you can see he just cannot talk to people in a proper manner unless he's talking about Egyptian history. But he's specifically told by the man, his manager, that that's not what he does, and not to worry about it. And you go through the first episode, and he starts blacking out and waking up having beating in another country, having beaten people up in a car chase, having discovered a scarab, a magic scarab. And so a real interesting, because you never actually see the events of what's happening during his blackouts. It's really interesting choices in that first episode. So I'd like you guys to tell me what you thought when you first got introduced to this Moon Knight series. Stephen Grant, how much did you know about the character? I'm gonna let Mike go first.
So I knew the minimal amount. I knew of the character. I knew some of his powers and stuff, but I had never really been into Moon Knight as a kid. So, but I was excited when I saw Oscar Isaac was cast as Moon Knight. Watched the trailer, and the trailer looked good. So, and so far for me, the show has been decent. Um, it's not. I wouldn't call it WandaVision, Loki level DC, Marvel TV. Sorry, not DC. It's definitely not DC television. But it's so far. I'm liking where the story's going. It's got just enough action to keep you entertained. It's got that nice mystery thriller element to it. Got some little horror elements to it, and the introduction of like new gods in the Marvel world. As we've seen the Asgards, we've seen the Asgardians, and now we're going to see the Egyptian gods and stuff like that. So it's definitely piquing my interest so far, and I'm going to keep watching. So
All right, Keith, as the non MCU follower, what was your
I liked it.
first
I mean, it
reaction
was
to the
it
first
was
episode?
it was enjoyable. I'm gonna say this: if it wasn't so, it would it would be a horrible watch if it wasn't so well acted. And this actually speaks to the earlier point I was talking about content, because I feel like I don't really like the costume design. Yeah, I think some of the CGI in places really kind of like enhances like it just it just comes off corny in some spots. Um, but I feel like what I like more so is the storyline and the acting, and I the main character is engaging, frustrating at times, but like that's all part of why he's good to me. Um, but I feel like it's his acting and the content, the quality of that kind of stuff that's actually pushing me along in terms of entertainment. I find
Yeah, I would
myself
agree.
not so much enjoying the action scenes like in a way that I normally would.
Mhm. All right, James, what was your initial reaction here?
Actually, a little bit of both of what Mike and Keith said. More Keith. I think I text you guys after I watched the premiere. I don't know the timeline who saw it first, but I was like, is it me or this feels a little mediocre with the CGI? Special effects felt like very TV to me, and I think I might even
The
retweeted it.
car
Someone
chase
else
was
said,
particularly a standout of bad CGI to me.
yeah, and but I was like, but I was still intrigued with Oscar Isaac. I said earlier offline, he was like the Giannis right now carrying the team dropping 50. But also not just the acting of Giannis, someone's dryer. Um, but how he was showing you how they chose to show you the dissociative identity disorder. Not as I mean, they do actually at some point. In the old fashioned movies, you'd be talking to yourself, but in this instance, illustrated in different forms. One is the total memory blackout. You as the audience are going through the same thing, where you're changing scenes and you're just as confused as each character. And then the other one later on they start doing is when he's talking to his reflection in different surfaces, and he sees the other version as opposed to him again, talking to himself like they used to do in the old days. I thought that was a very creative way of showing the fact that he's going through the disorder. Again, this all ties back to Oscar Isaac as the actor. He's got to be able to carry that performance. You have to believe that what he's doing is really him and not just like stagecraft.
So
Um,
just
Go
as a
ahead.
question though, so the other character in him is not a separate person. It is literally him in psychosis.
Correct. And then what I did, so go back to the original question you asked both Mike and Keith. I didn't really read the comics, but I got familiar with the character later on, especially in some video games. He becomes a playable character, and he actually has a lot more personalities. And I don't know how far they're going to show in the 6 episode series. There's like the thief, and there's like a couple different characters. Um, so that actually kept me. All right, I want to see what episode two. How are they gonna take episode two? Once actual Moon Knight in episode two is shown, and I was like, oof, oh, yikes. And don't get me started episode three. But go ahead.
All right. So I'll start with the only thing I knew of Moon Knight was people would call him White Batman, or those kind of things, White Daredevil, and so I never knew anything about the character. I just knew he wore white so people could see him, and he beat up people. But
Probably be the worst Halloween costume for some people to wear.
yeah.
This
Keep away from
Halloween.
the white hoods, people. Keep away from the white hoods,
Yeah.
please. Mr. Knight, though, go ahead, do that one. That one works. Just the white suit, that's cool. I like
With the
that.
hood? No.
No, it's a mask.
Oh yeah, Mr. Knight. Sorry.
Mr. Knight, Mr. Knight. Anyway, um, uh, the more I learned about the character through some basic internet searches and whatnot, he became a little bit more interesting than simply a rich guy who runs around and beats up criminals. Even though that's some of what he is technically, he's a rich guy in the comics, right? One of his personalities is rich. Um, but I think for this show and for the MCU universe, starting him out as a question mark to the audience and building that you into connecting with the different parts of the characters. The voice in his head then becomes the reflection in the mirror, then becomes the visions of Khonshu, which is the Egyptian god that he gets his power from. Then you finally at the very end you get your first glimpse of Moon Knight. Looks pretty cool. Then we
Well, they
get
did.
into the action scenes in episode
Episode
two.
two.
But
There was a fight scene that brought some other personalities into question, though. Not a fight scene, but like he killed he killed some people,
mhm.
and they were both accusing each other of being the ones who did it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's episode 3. I think we got
That's
That's
in
into
episode
there.
episode
three.
three. That's in
Yeah.
episode
So
three.
so just as let me finish my thought. As far as episode 1 goes, I really liked it, and the person in my household who doesn't search for internet information about the characters beforehand uh, was really intrigued by the whole setup, the blackouts, the waking up covered in blood, the voice in the head. Um, so I think it had a good first episode for bringing people in, and I think now as we step further into the episode 2 and 3, I learned something new in that I didn't realize the different personalities were how he got different costumes and stuff. That was a real interesting trip to me, where Steven allowing Conchu in created this Mr. Knight character who wears a white suit and uh, gloves and a mask or whatever. I don't know if it's required that you're 100% covered head to toe. I'm guessing that's how the costume works. Whereas when Mark Spector turns, he's the Moon Knight, classic Moon Knight character with the moon swords or whatever, boomerangs. So that was interesting. I thought that was a cool character switch. I don't know where this character goes. I'm hoping so far that he stays put. I want to see where this series goes right now. Um, uh, Keith was mentioning the CGI. Yeah, I don't think the CGI has been great, but I kind of liked episode 3 quite a bit. Even I thought the
I
episode
did not.
really handled the CGI a bit better than episode 2. It had a decent fight scene, and we had that great, cool world rewind
Hold on.
part.
Episode 3. I
Mhm.
gotta, in the honor of the Queen of the Pod, Brooks is not here. I gotta, put on my Brooks hat here. Let's
He got a
say
Lakers hat.
I was appalled by the avatars chosen for these Egyptian gods. All Caucasian characters.
No,
There's
they
one
No,
weren't.
they
sister.
weren't.
Yeah, they were white avatars.
No.
Unless
Oh,
my
look up the.
TV,
Let's look
unless
up
my
the.
TV was
One sec.
Except there was one white sister in the corner. Yeah, look at that. I'm like, they couldn't find actors
Um,
who were at least Arab descent.
Tefnut's avatar was played by Haley Kanadu. She's African American, I believe. I think she was born in America. Uh, Isis avatar was played by a Japanese person. Um, yeah, Horus's was a white guy.
He was
So
front and
that's
center.
all that's listed in the cast, though. But yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't all white
yeah.
dudes.
Find a still shot when you edit this.
Yeah,
Put the
I'll bring it.
still
Yeah,
shot
I'll
what I
pull it up.
saw.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, we're in North Egypt. We're in North Africa.
I like how fast they got there, though. Wherever the hell they were in the world,
Right? Jeez, they can travel wherever they
I
wanted.
guess.
And where were they? And where were they again? Going back to your continuity issue, where were they during Infinity War and Endgame?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
they don't
whole
care.
nother debate. Like
Yeah,
the Eternals were
continuity.
asleep, and all these guys were asleep, and
And all these gods were, missing in
Oh,
action.
and let's see here. What's her name? The native is. I think she's a Native American woman who played the one who talks to Mark Spector.
oh yeah,
She's she's the
she's Hispanic, I think.
Diana
Can't even get
Oh,
Arabian or
Bermudez
you're right.
African
Yatzil.
She's
avatars.
native. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't just like 6 white dudes. There
Right.
were 2 white dudes. But
I know the guy doing all the talking. I was like, wait a minute, what?
that would
I was also
that's making an
inebriated watching the
assumption.
episode.
That is making an assumption, but
Yeah, I'm making an assumption they're not South American white.
Oh wow, I didn't
Right.
realize
Anyway.
Conchu's voice was F. Murray Abraham.
Who's
Yeah.
F. Murray Abraham?
Yeah,
He's
he's
been in
in-
a lot of
he's in-
stuff. You know him if you see him.
Right.
He's got that face. You'll be like, oh, that dude.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
From
exactly.
Mozart and a
hmm
bunch of other things.
He comes up a little bit corny too.
Who, F. Murray Abraham or?
I don't like his CGI. Like I just don't. It's
Oh, Conchu's CGI? You don't
Yeah.
like the floating head?
I don't. Yeah, like it's
No,
just.
I think that's fine. I don't have any problem with that one.
I mean, the biggest really is Moon Knight's costume in battle form. It
I
doesn't
don't
look
like that costume. Looks so.
tough.
That costume looks cool to anybody.
I would have preferred. I mean, it's a replica of the comics costume.
Yeah,
So like, there's
Yeah,
only
but
so
it's
much.
supposed to be armor, right?
quality
So
wise,
so if you
Can-
don't
can
like
they-
the costume,
Can they not
then
use
you don't like the
practical
costume.
effects like the
it just
Batman?
doesn't
Could
look
they
like
use
a
practical
quality.
effects?
Like it doesn't look like
They
quality
did.
material.
Oscar
like,
Isaac actually wears the outfit. So, but
But they do an overlay of
right,
CGI
they
for the
enhance it,
cape
right? Because he's
and
got
for that
the
stuff.
obviously the bandages move and stuff. So
Yeah, it's got all sorts of weird
Yeah.
dynamics to the
Robert
stuff.
Pattinson was wearing practical, like
But
his
Batman's
suit.
costume
Even the
doesn't do anything.
cow,
It's not
even the
magic.
cow. You notice that his cow? I noticed it last night. Was actually whatever fabric that he used looks like from the comics.
yeah,
But it doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. Like I
it doesn't
understand.
flow.
I understand that it the CGI we talk about the overuse of CGI or whatever. Um, it seems very purposeful at this point that that's what they want to do. That they think it's good enough. So I agree. There's some points it looks kind of weird. I'd rather have a I don't know a Ray Park or whatever underneath in a suit to do all the
Oh,
action scenes.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Just do the switch out. Let a great martial artist get in there in the suit
Yeah,
and do that.
yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
would
I
feel
agree.
better watching it than having a CGI.
Over Oscar Isaac, who's not a trained martial artist.
Right? Yeah. I don't understand some of that idea. I don't think that's great. But overall, Oscar Isaac is just carrying the show. I do like his wife. Um,
Oh, she's okay. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Layla,
Um,
played by May Calamay. I think she's good. She's pretty
okay.
good. But Oscar Isaac just steals all of the scenes because he has so much to do with the interacting with himself, with Khonshu,
And
and
carrying the movie. I mean,
Mhm.
Carrying the entire
carrying
show.
and the character Steven has just so much to give as the scene because he's so out of place. He just has so much to do, and it just steals everything. It's hard to fight against that. Um, I mean, so what do you guys think? Obviously, we're gonna keep watching it. Do you think this character will move into anything? Do you think we're gonna get a Defenders type thing or Midnight Suns? It's supposed to be.
right now the plan is no. So
No,
right.
I heard something about this isn't even actually connected, but I'm not. I don't believe that, to be honest. Technically, everything's connected now.
Everything is
Multiverse, but
connected, but I don't see them using him as an anchor
he's not an
for.
anchor. He's a secondary character.
I know, like,
But
but he
it's
could be
Oscar
anchor
Isaac. You have
for.
Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac.
Hold on. What I mean anchor is he could be like the Defenders in Netflix. Remember Daredevil was
Mhm.
an anchor for that show. Yeah, I
No,
don't see the same
yeah.
formula. Yeah, he was.
Mhm.
Daredevil was the
Oh
anchor
yeah,
of the
yeah.
Defenders.
So I, for some reason, I was thinking Iron Fist when you said Daredevil.
Ooh, no. Yeah, I don't see Moon Knight. Plus, I don't think Oscar Isaac has time to. I mean, dude's a busy, bona fide Hollywood actor. He's got other, you know, programs coming down the pipeline. I don't see him devoting this much time beyond the series. I could be
I
wrong. I could be wrong because Marvel can dole out that bank vault, and then he'd be like, all his private projects will be on pause. But
I wouldn't be surprised if we
yeah,
see him
I
in
don't see that.
in Blade, like as in like a cameo somewhere.
A cameo,
Yeah.
yeah, not like a
Not yeah, not
full Robert
full
Downey
role.
Jr. Cameo in Civil War.
Right.
No.
I don't know. When's the Blade movie? Did they haven't
I don't
even
know.
Well,
talked
hold on.
about?
Is it true they recasted?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same
No,
thing.
that's a joke account, guys.
Thank
Guys, that's
goodness.
a joke account.
I didn't repost it. I was just like, is this true?
Yeah. No, that guy. That's a joke Twitter
Sorry.
account who said what's his name from Morbius and Fast and Furious.
Tyrese.
What's his name? Tyrese
Tyrese
was
was gonna be
taking
the
over
new.
the role.
I was like, this
I
April Fool's over already.
No, there's a couple of satire Marvel accounts that post. It's supposed to be ridiculous enough that you recognize that it's satire, but obviously,
Shaq cast it as Doctor Doom for Phase 5. What?
Oh goodness.
It was Charles Barkley, but he couldn't make the time.
By the way,
Charles Barkley as the voice for Galactus.
I like Ethan Hawke's performances so far. Pretty good. That's the evil dude.
He's okay,
Yeah,
but
I
I
like
don't
him.
think like I'm not getting much any of tension from that character. He's kind of got an interesting like low key what I'm doing is right attitude, which works fine. And he can like touch somebody and kill like a single person who's gonna do something evil.
Like I think
But
the script writing, like some of the
it's kinda-
dialogue and some of the conversations he has are interesting points of view. Yeah, and he's acting, but everything else around him is just whack. Again, special effects. When he opens up that portal, it looks like so trash. Like he's stuck, and I think in a I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it right now.
I would say that like that whole scene. So probably the biggest scene with the two of them together, where they're in the council meeting, right, or whatever, and he's trying to say Oscar Isaac is just given a performance. He's like taken over by Khonshu, and he's like trying to do two personalities, and he's like all over the place. And then like Ethan Hawke is like, "No, I'm not doing any of that, man." And all the other guys are like, "See, he's not doing any of that, man."
Right.
And it was kind of very low key. There wasn't a lot of tension to that scene. Like it didn't feel like something big was coming up that. We got a cool CGI scene of the returning stars, and that cool. But I don't
That was
think
alright.
that scene built to something big, huge, and interesting.
I don't
Where
think
I
it was
think they
supposed
could
to.
have.
So what? Yeah. It was,
Well, Khonshu at first was like, "Oh, I don't really want to do that. They could put me in like a stone pillar."
which they did.
Like,
Yeah.
but they did it like 2 minutes later
Mm-hmm.
when he did the thing that he said he wasn't.
Yeah, but see,
just
this is what builds attention, and because now Moon Knight doesn't have Oscar Isaac doesn't have his protector now, right? So what's he gonna do?
right, but that scene didn't really have any of that tension like it could have. It
Mm-hmm.
felt pretty weak, that scene.
Okay.
I mean, it was okay scene.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if we're matching it to other basic television shows, yeah, it's fine. But for the money they're putting into this, I'm feeling like the
I
script
wouldn't worry about
writing
it. It's not your
isn't
money,
as
so don't worry about it.
it's just not as like the it's not. I
I
don't
know.
know if
I
they're
get what
not
you're
giving
saying, but
themselves
yeah.
enough episodes where they want to. Oh, they got to go from A to Z,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really have the time to build certain things up. And so, but why not? Why are they giving themselves this artificial deadlines and then letting some of these okay episodes kind of languish? It
Right.
just feels kind of weird to me. I don't know. It's cool. It was fine. I was enjoying myself, but I think it's just not as good as it could be. Is what I would say.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. Did you guys
Another episode.
anything else about Moon Knight that you want to talk about? Nope.
No, we got
All right.
we got 3 more episodes, and we'll do our finale talk in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Where can everybody find our content and respond?
As usual, all over the social medias at Heroes Peak, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell in the corner to get notifications, and leave a comment below.
All right. Next week, we're planning on talking about Severance, Apple TV's wild thriller sci-fi TV show. So if you want to hear that, go ahead and watch that right now. It's a great series. Really suggest it. All right, everybody. You have a good night.
Night.
See you next week.
Indigo made the beat.